Hey, this is Pastor Purple. So today I am doing my thought for today. Oh, I'm doing something for today in the garden. The thought for today is about parenting tips, and what we are looking at is your identity as a parent. And I want to share with you a very personal experience that I had literally this past Sabbath. So you know that I'm a pastor, and my work and my children collide every single week. So I'm working with a group to connect our children at church. Really important that we pastor and care for our children. This is like core to my identity as a human, core to my identity as a pastor, that we really look after the children and the young people in our churches, that we give them good pastoral care. And that comes from pastors, but it also comes from everyone within the church. And that is like one of the core values that I have. And so this weekend we started this program online where the children were going to sit on Zoom, and they were going to have a conversation and connect. And so one of the parents, because it's a Dutch group, so I can't do it because everyone, then you need translators. Just so I don't lead, I lead by that thing. Anyway, so I was just a parent in some ways on the group, but also the pastor, of course. I'm never not the pastor. So I had the three children. Firstly, it was like wrangling cats to get all three of them to sit on the table, to sit round the little screen on the computer, to look at the screen. So I was like wrangling cats. I was very stressed. By the time the call really got underway, my stress levels were probably up to here. So the kids will each ask the person chairing, facilitating, ask each child and parent, how has this week been? My children responded with vervelend. If you're Dutch, you'll understand. Did not fill my heart with joy, which is like difficult. Just not like. And then the one said rubbish. Now, in these videos, I'm working my behind off to be a good pastor and to be a good parent, and that is it's a big job. I'm exhausted, like every other parent on the planet who's working and trying to be a parent and be present. My husband and I, we put everything in. We're pastoring differently abled kids, we're pastoring and looking after and parenting these kids, and we're we're working our asses off, right? People, we're working hard. And my kids said rubbish and vervelend. That's what their response was to this woman. And like, I felt my face, I felt the tears, I felt the frustration, I felt the anger, I felt the annoyance, and I just shot them a look, and they were like, what? I was joking. What? Everyone knows we're joking. Of course, no one knew they were joking. No one, because she asked for one word. They didn't say afterwards, joking, it was good. They didn't say that. No one knew. That was the word they picked. That's what went down. She wrote it down. And I had a crisis moment. I was just like... So, you do the thing of muting, because, of course, good Zoom, WebEx, whatever etiquette of these forums is you mute your mic so that they don't hear your running commentary, and that the other person who's talking can talk without being interrupted with like lots of noise. So we muted the mic, and I sat there just devastated. Like, I was looking at these kids like, what? How could you say that? How could you say that? Kids were like, I was joking, like, and they were upset because they had to sit still. Bear in mind that all of this was because they had to sit still. And I felt all of it. I just felt it all in my soul. I was just like, all these people now looking at me, look at this, I'm working hard, I'm making these videos, people see us laughing, they see the little video live streams we're doing with the kids doing art, they see and they think I'm lying. And my identity came into question. Suddenly it was all about me. Suddenly every part of my frustration, and I could just stand outside myself and see that what was really happening was, it wasn't that my kids had said vervelend and that they were making a joke and that they were being silly and they didn't want to participate and they were finding it difficult and they were overwhelmed because looking at screen faces is difficult and they don't like it, and they were troubled and it was a lot to do and they hadn't had lunch yet and blah 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 blah. That wasn't it. What was it was all these people were judging me as a bad parent. So I had a moment where I had to say, my children's identity and my identity are not the same thing, and I need to separate this so that I do not overreact to their behaviour. I do not overreact to what they did, and I do not punish them for something they have no idea what's going on. My kids don't know. They have no clue that I'm worrying that people are judging us as a family. I mean, I tried to explain it. They really didn't care. So what I realised in that moment is that how many times as parents do we punish our children, or do we penalise our children, or do we speak harshly to our children, or do we quarantine our kids more? Do we cut them off more? Or do we not allow them to develop themselves, because it's our identity that's on the line? It's who we are that does that. And we have to make that distinction. I am not my child. I am the parent of my child, but my identity is not linked to that. People either, listen, you can judge me, because you're going to do it anyway. People are going to make those judgments about you. They're going to, talk about your parenting regardless. They may talk about it because they think it's good. They may talk about it because they think it's bad. But people judge. That's how people are. But you cannot base your parenting off of the fact of what people might say. That can't be it. You need to really parent your children for who they are and what they are doing. And so what I had to do was change the conversation to them, and I said, okay, did the people in the phone call understand that you were joking? Because that was really the point, wasn't it? They said it was Viveland, and they said, was that actually true? No. Okay, did they understand you were joking? No, I don't think they did. Okay, so was this an appropriate response to this action? Oh no, what could you have done to indicate that it was a joke? Or we could have said, haha, joking. I said, okay. And so allow them to make the joke. If they want to be funny, I mean, I don't find it funny, but if they want to be funny, allow them to make the joke. Even though I don't find it funny, I didn't find it funny. Trust, I was hurt to my core. But allow them to make the joke if that's what they want to make. But you have to parent the child for who they are and what they're trying to achieve also, because they're an individual and they're going to grow up, and you want them to be a good, well-rounded human, right? That's what you want. Don't parent them because you're embarrassed, because you are affected by what other people may or may not think. I don't know if everyone on that phone call was like a pastor and her children, and they immediately all made a judgment about the pastor's children and the pastor and this and that. Maybe they did, but you know what? I can't account for that. All I can account for is the fact that I need to make sure that my children are parented to be the best humans they can be, and that when they are in difficult situations, their natural response is to actually make a joke, but that the joke comes across, because you know how difficult it is to make a joke when you're vexed. It's hard, man. Adults can't do it. Let's be honest. So I'm trying to help them do something that's impossible. But I'm just telling them also that when you're vexed, maybe that's not the time to make a joke. I'm just saying. But it can't be because I vex. It can't be because I'm embarrassed. It has to be about them. And whether they wanted everyone to believe that it was Viveland, whether they wanted everyone to believe they had a rubbish week, whether they wanted everyone to believe that that was the truth. Not whether it said something about me as a parent and how much effort we had put in. And let me tell you, it was hard. It's really, really hard to do. It's hard, but it's worth it. I mean, it is worth it because I really believe in what we do with the children, but that didn't hurt, man. Anyway, have a wonderful, blessed day. Bye-bye.